I mean, I don't know if I need to say any more. That all sounds really intriguing. Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf, where we talk about books. Today I'm going to share with you the books that I am looking to read in March. There's going to be some chunky books, some buddy reads, and some review copies in here, so let's just dive in with two chunky books. I'm going to do these together as they are part of a series, and that is a continuation of Malazan. So we have Memories of Ice, which I am currently reading right now. I'm about 100 or so pages in, and we do have the live show discussion that will be happening on March 12th at 2:30 CST if you'd like to join us for that chat. And after that, I'll be reading House of Chains, which is book 4 in the series. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's a very gritty, cold, and harsh world, but I'm finding the characters to be quite endearing for the most part. And I'm honestly enjoying this much better since Dead House Gates. Dead House Gates clicked much more with me than Gardens of the Moon. I feel like I spent most of my time in that book confused. And as I've been reading along with Dead House Gates and even starting Memories of Ice, I feel like I'm starting to grasp some of the larger plot points, or at least some of the plot points, better than I had when I started the series. And thinking back on Gardens of the Moon, some of those scenarios and situations that happened, even the characters' histories are starting to make more sense, and I'm really appreciating that I'm falling into this a little bit more easily. So I will be continuing Malazan with books 3 and 4 in the series. We're also working on getting a date picked for the live show discussion for House of Chains, so stay tuned for that too. My physical copy is up somewhere in the house, but I am continuing on with Zordanian as well. I've been taking this slow because I'm enjoying it, and I just want to take it at a slower pace. This is a book that I feel like I don't want to burn through, that I am just enjoying the slow burn of it and taking my time with it. So this is what I'm still continuing on with. I'm reading little bits at a time, and for that reason, I feel like I'm retaining a lot more, as it is quite complex in the world's history, the cultures of the people, the complexities of the relationships that are involved. There's just so much depth to it, and it's also very character driven, and there's a lot of analysis that I've been doing with the characters. I don't know if it'll prove fruitful in the end. However, I've just been really enjoying the experience of it. Next, I will also be buddy reading Cupboards All Barred by Patricia Meredith. This is book 2 in the Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries. Book 1, which was Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker, was fantastic. It was a 5-star read for me, and it took a lot of willpower to not just jump right in and binge the rest of the trilogy. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and we're going to be chatting about it in the Wizardly Duo Discord. So I'll leave links if you'd like to join us if you've read book 1 and you want to continue on with book 2 and discuss it with us. All of that will be in the description below. Now, I do want to mention that I did receive this copy in exchange for an honest review from Patricia, and this is a self-published historical fiction thriller. But let's go ahead and read the back of book 2. If you have not read book 1 yet, just skip ahead as there may be spoilers. In this sequel to Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker, we're once again transported to Spokane, 1901. A body discovered in Hangman Creek looks to be the result of an accidental fall, but what begins as a simple mystery for Thomas Carew and his brother Bernard quickly becomes a lot more complicated, including implications that tie in with the bombings at the Idaho mines and perhaps even President McKinley's planned visit. It's been 1 month since the event of the first book, and readers will enjoy engaging once again with the full cast of quirky characters from Archie to Marion to Thomas and Bernard, with a couple new faces thrown in. I'm so eager to get back into this. The way Patricia wrote book 1 was phenomenal. It was an immediate 5-star read for me. I was left guessing the entire time with the murder mystery that we had in that, and the character-driven narrative that we get, where each of these characters are just so well represented that I personally got lost in their thoughts and their emotions, the reactions, all of it. It was so well done. Not only that, Patricia has such an incredible passion for history, and in the back of Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker, there are notes included as to all of the references that she used, including actual people from history, which was just fantastic to read and to see her passion come through in that book. For all those reasons and more, I am so excited to continue with book 2 and to be able to chat with it with Andrew and anyone else who wants to join us. After that, I have another review copy, and this one is from Palmer Pickering, and that is Helio Trope. This is a sword and sorcery fantasy, and I am really excited to get into this. This cover, the story's description all sounds up my alley. And this is going to be a bit of a chunker at 770-ish pages. Let's read the description. Helio is a retired soldier descended from mages who were cast out of power generations ago. After years of war and sorrow, he wants nothing more than to live a quiet life on his farm and work his stonemasonry craft. His wife and daughter have been murdered during a war raid several years earlier, and his young son stolen by the enemy's side. He spent years unsuccessfully searching for his son and returned home brokenhearted. At the local castle, he comes upon a war orphan stolen by his side from the enemy and rescues him from abuse, adopting him as his foster son. Helio is working on a stone mosaic for the queen at the castle when he finds himself in the middle of a coup. This launches a journey to protect his new family, uncover the secrets of the ancient ways, and reclaim the magic of the mages. In addition to being a sword and sorcery fantasy, this is also a heroic fantasy. Now, I love the trope of found family, and that sounds like something we're going to get in this between the main character and the adoptive child. In addition, I'm really curious to see how the story and the world plays out, with mages having been cast out of power generations ago, and this main character rediscovering everything. So this should definitely make for an intriguing read. After that, I have an e-arc for Monoborn by A.S. Fredericks. This is book 1 in the Moreau Legacy series and a self-published fantasy. Initially, what caught my attention for this was the cover, and the description just won me over on top of that. So let's go ahead and read the description. In vibrant pools hidden away by time and jealousy, in bright azure veins upon caverned walls, in the very air itself, emanates the power of mana, grants powers unique and destructive to those strong enough to wield them. Monoborn is the story of 3 such people, unaware of their magical powers. Thrust into perilous adventures, their world unravels as the fate of a kingdom is thrown into flux due to events involving King Ardell himself and his mysterious Magus. Valerie, a hard-nosed teen on the run with her father, searches for her true identity. Cyr, a spirited noblewoman, leaves behind a life of nobility and abuse to become a knight. And finally, the carefree lord, Cassian Moreau, and his shield guard, Robert, receive a sudden visit from a king. Bonds between friends and family are tested as their lives intertwine in the shadow of the crown. Danger looms and secrets are brought to the light, but one question stands above the rest. What is honor? So this all sounds up my alley. I'm really intrigued to see how the theme of what is honor or what that means to the characters work out. I'm also excited to see if there are strong female characters in this. It sounds like there will be, all set within a fantasy world, and potentially getting some politicking involved as well, as it sounds like there's going to be some nobility and potentially some crossing with that. We'll have to see how it goes. But this is one that I am eager to try, and the release date for this is April 6, 2023, so that is coming up fast. After this, I have another review copy for In the Sky by Joseph D. Slater. This is a self-published fantasy, and just from a few things, this includes dragon riders, pirates, spies, airships, and vengeance all in here. And it just sounded really intriguing, so I'm excited to give it a try. It's about 450 pages, I believe. Let's go ahead and read the description. A dragon rider, a pirate, and a suspicious cook meet up in an aerial adventure of airships, spies, and vengeance. In this cat and mouse journey following the Gale Empire's navy pursuing the Loon's Cry, an infamous pirate ship sailing into territories lost in a past war. Fatal decisions will be made to ensure the safety of the borders between the freedom fighters and rule under the Emperor. The cook's aide Bonnie discovers a spy aboard Captain Harley's ragtag crew, all while Imperial ace flyer Esmeralda does what she can to get combat experience from the back of her loyal dragon Rex. However, she will find more than she could have ever expected there. In the world of the sky shanties, dragons, and sword fights, you'll learn that in order to get what you want, you'll have to sacrifice what you love there in the sky. I mean, I don't know if I need to say any more. That all sounds really intriguing. The combination of sky pirates, dragons, airships. I'm really interested to see how the world works and what the characters are like in that kind of setting. And last but not least, I will be buddy reading Guns of the Dawn with Evie and many more people. This has turned into a larger buddy read than initially planned, and this is going to be taking over at the Library of Alexandria's Discord, so I'll leave a link to that if you're interested in joining us. This is by Adrian Tchaikovsky, one of my favorite authors. It's one I have heard such good things about for quite a while, and I am just really excited to jump into another Adrian Tchaikovsky book, along with being a bit intrigued as to the world setting, as I believe this is a Flintlock fantasy. There are wars, revolutions, and from what I hear, a strong female character that will probably become one of my favorites, according to Andrew, I believe, over at Andrew's Wizardly Reads. Let's go ahead and read the description. The first casualty of war is truth. First, Denlin's revolutionaries assassinated their king, launching a wave of bloodshed after generations of peace. Next, they clashed with Lascane, their royalist neighbor, pitching war machines against warlocks in a fiercely fought conflict. Emily Marshwick watched as the hostilities stole her family's young men, but then more came to call for yet more of Lascane's soldiers in a ravaged kingdom with none left to give. Emily must join the ranks of conscripted women and march toward the front lines. With barely enough training to hold a musket, Emily braves the savage reality of warfare, but she begins to doubt her country's cause, and those doubts become critical, for her choices will determine her own future and that of two nations locked in battle. This definitely sounds like it's going to be a really intriguing read. I'm really excited to jump into it, but it sounds like it might be also a very heavy read in the sense of war and everything that just goes along with that. So I am really eager to read it, to be able to share and talk with others, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of Adrian Tchaikovsky's stories. So that is everything I plan to read in March. There's a lot on this list, including some chunkers. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get to all of them. I will be using audiobooks to go along with some of these that do have them available, as I do love immersion reading as well, either with the audiobook in the ebook or the audiobook in the physical book, whichever copies I have available. Either way, there are a lot of books that I am really excited to jump into, so this should be a great reading month. What are you reading in March? Are there any that you're excited to get to? Continuing a series? Are you ending a series or starting a new one? Let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you. As always, thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.